I have helped over 100 employees switch careers or make a career change. So these are the three main things you need to keep in mind if you want to make a career change. Overall, these three steps are designed to do one important thing, which is communicate your value by highlighting your expertise. They will also help combat some of the common fears people have when making a career change, facing ageism, having obsolete skills, or perhaps the cost of the salary that you want. The mistake that older employees generally make is either overemphasizing or underemphasizing their expertise. You want to find a balance between being willing to learn and the value of your experience. With that said, let's start with number one. So what I tell people is that they need to update their stories. This is bigger than just going onto LinkedIn and updating your resume. This is looking at and being able to communicate your entire career arc. What have you learned about other people and yourself, and how you've been able to implement and master that knowledge? If you're worried about being exact about this stuff, I would say don't be. If you saw an 8.5% increase, you might as well round that up to 10. It's not going to matter in the end. The purpose of this exercise is to get you thinking about these stories. I would say compared to early career employees, it's really, really important that you sit down and think about the impact you've had. And so you can really build up your self-worth. The reason for this is if you're later in your career, chances are you've been comfortable, you've been successful, you had a lot of really great experiences, and now you're about to enter a really uncertain time. Some of the beliefs you have about yourself are likely to be challenged, and you're going to face some tough things like rejection. In those tough moments, you want to be able to look at your resume or your LinkedIn profile and really get a sense of like, yeah, I'm ready to take on this challenge. I know that my experience gives me a lot of expertise. Taking the time to sit down and create this set of stories will provide you with the evidence you need to have the confidence to take on this next challenge. The second thing I would suggest you keep in mind is if you're making a big career change and you're getting into a completely different sector, take the demotion for strategic reasons. I can tell you not to worry, it really won't last that long. I say this because I've seen employees, especially leaders, completely switch fields but try to retain the same title. And usually that leads to burnout, failure, or both. With a younger employee, they come with a high cost, but they don't understand the culture, the processes, or the institutional knowledge. And they keep making misunderstanding after misunderstanding. Because of that, despite any impact or reputation that they might have, the CEO or owner is just going to come to believe that this person isn't worth it. Their value isn't there. I was 35 when I made my career pivot and started working in an industry that I hadn't worked in previously. And it took me about 5 years to gain the 4 promotions I needed to reach my end goal. Along the way, I learned way more about all the levels of this company and what all the different people did, and I built up a really strong reputation. Because I did have the expertise, I wasn't worried that I wasn't going to get the promotions when the opportunity came. And the initial drop in salary of about 14% was more than offset by the time I completed my first year. You need to believe in your skills, your traits, and your experience. Also, by being willing to perhaps take a demotion and learn on the job and trust in yourself, you're going to build more trust with the other people you work with. Right away, you are instantly displaying a willingness to learn while also displaying a high level of confidence in yourself, which leads to number three. As an older employee, you have to make sure that you have some really solid heuristics that you're bringing with you or rules of thumb. You've seen things, you know things, and that is a big reason why you were hired for the role versus someone else. Your heuristics or those simple smart rules that you know work are your biggest advantage when you make a career switch. In your new role, you want to sound confident and feel present. You want to share system and habits to create an impact while reducing costs and misunderstandings. For example, wherever I've worked, I always bring the simple rule of that we're going to break down every large goal into the smallest part possible and then lay it out in a big schedule. I know this works no matter what industry I'm working in. And this is a rule I know how to follow and execute, and I can bring with me everywhere. It's part of my expertise, and it's what makes me really valuable. From the stories of your success that you did in step one, you should be able to create about a dozen of these simple rules of thumb. Write them down, make them easy to communicate, and then when you're in your new roles, you're able to deploy them and really increase your reputation. If you follow those 3 steps I just laid out for you, you will begin your new career flawlessly. Now, if you feel you could use some one-on-one help boosting your confidence and creating these stories that you can use as evidence to make this career switch, then you can book a free 15-minute call with me. The link is in the description, and we can have a conversation about the problems you're facing and see how we can fix it.